So I just want to
Siri here. Let me know if I can help.
go ahead and respect everyone's time. So I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:01 PM. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'll lead the group in the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Perfect. So Gabe, could we get roll call? Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez here. Commissioner Figueroa,
Present.
Commissioner Leal. Absent. Alternate Commissioner Gutierrez. Here. Vice Chair Navarrete
Here.
and Chair Behan, who's absent. Chair Behan indicated she wouldn't be here tonight.
Moving forward to our approval of the agenda, at this time, the commission may announce any items being pulled from the agenda or continue to another date or request the moving of an item on the agenda. Does anybody have any comments on the approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll go ahead and second Commissioner Gonzalez's motion.
Roll call. Commissioner Gonzalez,
Aye.
Commissioner Leal,
I abstain.
alternate Commissioner Gutierrez.
Aye.
Chair Behan is absent. Commissioner Figueroa. Oh. Okay, and then the Vice Chair Navarrete.
Aye.
Motion passes.
So do we have to do anything for Miguel or we're good to go on that gate?
What's that?
Do we have to call roll again for Miguel or we're good to go?
No, we just acknowledge that Commissioner Leal arrived at 6:03 for the minutes,
Perfect.
and then Commissioner Figueroa was joining us in the meeting, but just joined us in person
Awesome.
right now.
Great. All right, so now we gotta go over the approval of the minutes. This is for the special meeting on
And Vice Chair Navarrete, those minutes aren't ready yet. It was kind of a longer meeting, so we anticipate having those minutes available for the next time.
because they're not available. We're just gonna go right. We're gonna move ahead. Perfect. Correct. Do we have any non-hearing items?
There are none.
We're gonna go ahead and move forward to our public hearing calendar, the quasi judicial. Right, so item number 1, the Church of the Americas.
Thank you, Commission. Eva Lara, planning technician, she's going to give this presentation.
Thank you, Planning Commission. My name is Eva Lara, and I'm the planning technician for the city. All right. So the first item that I have is the Church of the Americas. This is the conditional use permit 356. And this is to allow a Christian church in an existing 2,760 square footage commercial building on a 0.17 acre property. And this is located in 51678 Cesar Chavez Street. Okay, so this is the vicinity, right on Cesar Chavez. In the general plan, this is a neighborhood center. For the zoning, it's a general commercial. A little bit of background is that the building was built prior to 1974. In 2015, there was a code enforcement or a code case for this building because there was an illegal dispensary. But fortunately, it was brought to compliance in 2017. The building has not been occupied for several years now. It's been vacant. So now our client wants to come in to open a church of approximately 15 service members. The service hours will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. So those are just 3 days out of the week. And this is the aerial of the property where it's located. So it's located at the northeast corner of Cesar Chavez and Cairo Street. To the east, you see residential single-family properties, and the rest of the nearby users are commercial. The building to the south of the building in question is unoccupied, and it's also been unoccupied for a couple of years. If you see at the back of the building, there's an alleyway, and that's the access to the actual parking lot for this building. All right, so for the so another slide, this is a site plan. So this was a landscape plan that was approved back in 2018 when the owner made exterior improvements. However, the landscape was never installed. So if you see those landscape fingers, I don't have a pointer, but you can see them at the middle of the parking lot. Those were not installed when the parking lot was paved. So that's just something that I wanted to, point out. But this was submitted as a floor plan. So if you see inside the building, there is an altar and some sitting area. And that's what our client is proposing for their little church. Next slide. So this is the interior. Does it show? The picture. The picture you got. Yeah. Should I just go on without the pictures? Okay, so for some reason my pictures are gone. I'm sorry about that. So this is, well, there's an interior. In the interior, the altar is going to be placed at the far west end of, it's near the door. And of course you would have been able to see it if the picture was there. We do have unfixed seats that will be placed for about 15 people. And if you would be able to see the picture, you would see that there's ample room for future growth.
So if you want to follow along with the pictures and the staff report, it's attachment number 4. Those have the pictures of the interior.
This is. All right. So the following slide. So when you look at the building interior, there are 2 doors that we have. So the property has two access points, and those are from the exterior to the exterior, both from the northerly side of the building. The double door that you see there is sealed shut, and there's no longer access to, it's no longer accessible to the entrance of the building. So that's something important to note for later. Let's see.
That's facing Cesar Chavez Street, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
facing the Cesar Chavez Street. Thank you. For the exterior of the building, this is the frontage, and you can see those, also those pictures that we have on the staff report. You could see that this is before it was landscaped. So this is just like a couple of weeks ago. I just wanted to show you the after and the before and after. So this is the exterior, and then once they installed the landscaping that was approved back in 2018. I have the pictures here. I had the pictures here. I don't know what happened to the presentation, I'm sorry. But now it's installed, pretty much what was approved in 2008. All right.
So there's just a question, sorry, I know you're doing presentation, but this frontage doesn't have anything, right?
Right now, they did just the
The
landscaping.
landscape on
The
that was
landscaping.
proposed, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, I know, I passed by the other day.
Oh, nice. Okay, so this is the parking. It holds 24 total parking spots plus two ADA parking spots. The total for the 15 members, it requires 66 parking spots, which of course it meets. So it meets the parking requirements, and of course they also have ample room for growth in case they do want to do that in the future. Okay, so parking lot lighting, it's something that we require, but it's lacking lighting, and that's usually for safety, especially at the hours that this congregation is going to meet, which is during the night. It's for safety. This is something that we sort of looked at after the fact, and if you as council, as commissioners would like to, set a condition for that, for parking lot lighting, something that. And if you see, this is the current exterior conditions of the building. For now, the owner is not proposing any improvements other than the landscaping, which they have already done. So that's.
Excuse me. Did they buy the property, or are they gonna be
They
renting?
are just gonna lease the property.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Is this where the marijuana operation was at?
Yes, back in
Right.
2015, but it's now.
Yeah.
In compliance.
Yeah.
And all the improvements that were made inside, they are now in compliance with the city. And another one, if you can see on the slide, there's the alleyway, in the back. That's how it's unimproved. So if you would want to recommend any improvements. And it's staff would recommend the planning commission to adopt the resolution PC 2022-25 for the CUP 356 with the findings and conditions in the staff report. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the project, and I live around the corner from it, and I see there's been a lot of, there's been a problem with the homeless hanging out there, so I'm kind of happy that somebody's actually moving in, and especially a church, it's gonna occupy the building. In terms of the lighting, I think that if we could do some type of stipulation where they could give them some time to put maybe some wall sconce on the wall where it would project onto the parking, that would be appropriate. I don't know if we do 6 months or a year, whatever is appropriate for the tenant. Maybe we can get a comment from him in terms of, putting adequate lighting there.
If you would allow the client to speak.
Can I
Mhm.
I would question why those that are leasing. Why not place the condition on the owner? of
Yeah,
the
well,
property?
it would ultimately be the owner, I think.
It
that-
would be placed on the owner.
Yeah, it would be the owner. I think that at this point, the building's been vacant for a lot of years.
Mhm.
I think what we need to do is move somebody there and then give them some time to do the improvements. I think once they're generating a little income, it makes it a little easier to do what the conditions that, we could stipulate. But
Yeah,
we just got to do something to move somebody in. That's very important. I see a problem there, and I live around the corner from some, I go by there practically every day, so that's my
We do
recommendation.
have the applicant here with us. His name is Jorge Aguilar, and he would like to speak.
Yes.
Okay. thank you.
Go ahead, excuse me, good, Commissioner.
Yeah, I was gonna open public comments once we finished asking.
Oh,
questions.
okay.
The building across, I think this is the Domino's building, the
Yes.
Domino's, and there is another smaller church in there too, I think, or
Yeah,
it's like multi.
Yeah, it's-
Sometimes it's a boxing place, sometimes it's a church.
yeah, I think it's a little church.
Yeah, it's a church now, but they have like a larger, I think we we're talking about that large light
Mhm.
where it just shines down, so something like that
Yeah,
would be,
it's kind of,
yeah, something like that would be good. So Does when this other app was already approved, the landscaping, does the landscape for the owner already have an agreement with the city to ensure that that stays?
No, they do not.
Okay,
Yeah, this is, I mean, this had something, this is kind of unique because there's an old site plan. I'm not sure. It's approved by the city, right? So somehow that was approved. It was, improved, not exactly how it was in the site plan, like Eva mentioned. And then it had landscaping on there. The owner did the landscape improvements, looks like within last week. And so things like that, like the landscaping, that is also in your preview for the CUP. So if there's anything else you want to see, you can definitely do that. I know the alleyway is in pretty bad shape, but it's also not on the private property owner's property. It's actually city maintained alley. And so we'll be communicating that with the city engineer, because obviously it's something that I don't think there's a nexus for the church to do the improvement because it's pretty expensive. But if it was like a new construction, we would probably condition them to improve the alley. So more of it would be something that we put on a CIP list for the city to improve in the future.
yeah, because, if you look at it from Cairo Street to Damascus, it's the same condition. So you have Domino's Pizza.
Yeah.
That basically is pretty dilapidated too. So I think if we're gonna call them on it, we gotta call, they've had a adequate time to improve that and they haven't done nothing on it. So like I said, if it's in city easement, then we have to step up to the plate and figure something out. But I don't think it should be a condition stipulated to the owner at this point, so.
are they gonna provide any signage for the church? I didn't hear any signage or anything for the new church.
They haven't proposed any signage, but we do have in our conditions. Proposed signage.
Well, let's hear from the gentleman.
And then just in response to that, so they can request signage later on, it would be administrative. But if it was something that the planning commission was concerned about or wanted to provide some input in, you could do that. if you want.
So with that being said, I think it's a perfect time to allow the applicant to come up and speak up. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up public comment at 6:20. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Sí, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Miren, el motivo que queremos poner la iglesia en este lugar, como le decía a Graviel y a Eva, nosotros somos una organización sin fines de lucro. Nosotros trabajamos ayudando a la gente. Cuánta necesidad tenemos en nuestra ciudad de Coachella. Cuánta gente se pierde, cuánta gente está en vicios. y nosotros únicamente, como les decía, somos una organización sin fines de lucro, no cobramos, ayudamos lo que está a nuestro alcance y pues nuestro deseo es apoyar, contribuir a esta ciudad, que por algo pues estamos en este lugar. Estamos en este lugar, pero yo les agradezco a cada uno de ustedes su cooperación, porque verdaderamente no lucramos, únicamente queremos el bien para nuestra ciudad, ya que miramos cada día cuánto joven se pierde, cuánto joven anda en vicios, en drogas. Nosotros no quiere decir que vamos a cambiar al hombre, el que cambia es el de arriba. Nosotros únicamente les presentamos el plan que no se puede vivir exactamente bajo una influencia de droga. Hay otras maneras por las cuales el hombre puede ser feliz. Entonces eso es lo único que les agradezco que nos apoyen para que nosotros llevemos nuestro objetivo a hacer lo que Dios nos mandó a hacer. Muchas gracias, señores.
Gracias.
Okay, do we have anybody else from the public that would like to speak on the matter? Just a couple of corrections, I assume, on the presentation. There's actually 4 doors to the building. 3 are working condition, and there's one that's blocked, the one facing Cesar Chavez. So there's plenty of access to come in and get out in case of an emergency. And if there's anything else we need to do to comply with the city, we'll be happy to do it. And again, like my pastor was saying, we appreciate your help in helping us open this building, be able to help out the community. That's all we're wanting to do here. Thank you.
I'm going to make a recommendation.
Wait,
Yeah,
Mr. Lopez.
Oh, still open, okay, sorry.
So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close.
If there's nobody else.
No comments.
Is there any more public comments? Anybody on Zoom? No one on Zoom? Okay, at 6:23 PM, I'm gonna go ahead and close public comment on our public hearing. Item 1. Just before we go ahead and make a motion, I just need some clarity on the hours. Is it 7 AM to 9 or is it 7 PM to 9? Okay, so
3 days a week.
7 to 9:30 PM, right?
yeah, PM, right, not AM.
9 AM.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I was thinking it was gonna run out. Yeah.
So the other days you're not gonna be open. It's only 3 days per week.
More than likely, we will have like positions that want to practice or.
So basically it's gonna be open 7 days a week.
So their service is just 3 days out of the 7 days, is what you're saying? And then the building will be utilized further. Yeah, okay.
Who knows, we might even do some fundraising to raise some money to help them. We're gonna feed them all this right there on the side.
Okay, I'm gonna make a recommendation to adopt resolution number PC 2022-25, approving the CUP conditional use permit number 356 with the findings and conditions of approval.
No, second, Commissioner Gonzalez's motion.
I have a question. Does that, because I haven't seen the resolution, does that include any improvements?
No.
And
We
and the
can-
reason I ask is because separate from them being able to occupy the building, and because no improvements took place when the marijuana operation was there, or in the future, it could be someone else that leases that place. And before this resolution and after this resolution, if there's one, unless they stay there forever, does it make sense not requiring any improvements?
I think we could stipulate, we brought up the light issue. The alley, I guess we're gonna coordinate with the engineering department and see what the possibilities of improving the alleyway, which
Yeah, but
Gabe also stipulated that it was in.
But the staff doesn't have at least a minimum of improvements that you would want to see?
Yeah, I'll just go over the conditions generally. There's only 10 conditions that we have for the CUP. One of them is just about the congregation size being 15. And that if that increased, it would have to come back to the plan commission. Now, you may want to think about that, right? If they're looking to increase the size, basically for a congregation of 5 people, they only need 5 parking spaces, but they have 24. So that means that they can basically grow to 72 people. But in the condition right now, number 1, it has a cap. So you could decide that cap could be lifted by staff, but right now we have it having to come back to plan commission. You might not want to see it come back to you. You might want to be comfortable with the existing parking, satisfying the future growth of the congregation. Number 2 is, it just says that expires after a year if it doesn't become active, that they don't operate the church. The other is if there's a break-in service for 180 days, the CUP goes away, that they identified the city for legal reasons, that they comply with the noise ordinance. In terms of actual site improvements, we did indicate that they shall landscape the property with irrigation, ground cover, shrubs and trees. Looks like they recently did some landscaping. So you can comment on that if you want anything more than what's out there. So right now, they did some decomposed granite. They did some shrubs and some trees. It looked like they're not like the biggest trees, but they did plant some trees, and that was compatible with that original site plan from years ago. The other is it does require exit signs on doors. Make sure that there's adequate door hardware for exiting. And then the last one is that the building official do another review of the accessibility to make sure that it's ADA accessible for the entrances to the building.
But they're having to make those improvements instead of the owner?
Well, we can't, this is the applicant initiated application, right? So we can't condition the owner. We can condition them, but most likely what the owner is going to have to do is do the improvements. It's likely that the church is probably not going to do the improvements. So I believe like the landscaping that was recently installed, I don't think the church did it, if unless I'm mistaken, but I believe the owner did those improvements. So likely if the lighting, there's a lighting condition, it's likely the owner that will end up doing it. It's condition.
I'm concerned more with the lighting. I think the lighting is an appropriate call. And my position is that we give them, adequate time. If it's 6 months, a year, to make sure that they do the adequate, lighting there on the site. I think that would be appropriate. Whatever you guys decide on the conditions.
Just for clarity, we have a motion on the table. So could you guys?
Are you amending your original motion?
Yeah,
then?
that's what-
Let's just do that. Let's, you want me to read it over again or just based on the motion that I made? Yeah, let's just put a stipulation there that that lighting, we condition that we put adequate lighting for the parking area.
I don't want them to come back if they want to grow their people from 15. So like,
Take that out.
take that and make that an administrative, because if you already know it can go up to 72, then they just can go back to
To the plan department.
the plan department.
Would you be adding to?
I'll be adding to his,
Okay.
yes. Mhm.
Okay,
So he's fine with that.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's good.
Because I don't want
I
to,
agree.
because this is,
Vice Chair Navarrete, this is City Attorney's Office. I think the appropriate thing to do at this point would be to make a motion to amend the original motion and then vote on that. It would also require a second and a vote. But that way you can amend the original motion to include these amendments, and then you can move forward with the amended motion after that.
So move.
So, so you want-
Yeah.
so we're gonna do, I'm gonna, do I have to do it, or does it, can it be anybody, or does it have to be Commissioner Gonzalez?
It can be anybody to make the motion to amend the original motion.
So I'm gonna motion to amend Commissioner Gonzalez's motion to add the stipulation for the lighting to be added in adequate time based upon staff. And then to also remove the requirement of them to come back if they need to increase their congregation over the 15. Based on the findings from staff that they can have up to 72 based on the infrastructure already existing in the space. And they could just go back to approval for staff rather than the planning commission.
When was the, excuse me, when was the original petition to the city? Was that back in June? Is that correct? Or when we had a shortage in staff? So,
Yeah, I don't know when the application date is, but
The application dates back to, I believe, July.
June, July, okay.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I
Second,
think. Is that,
second, the motion.
okay. All right,
Commissioners, this is the city attorney's office again. Just to clarify, the motion would be amended to add that there would be an additional conditional of approval that would require lighting installation. Do you want to be more specific on what that condition of approval would be? Or does maybe Gabriel can chime in from city staff's perspective as to what that would be?
I think the idea would be parking lot lighting, but I think there was something mentioned about timing, right? So what would be the timing?
just to give them, adequate timing, I don't know, 6 months if we can.
Within 6 months. And then for the condition of approval regarding coming back. So just to clarify, Commissioner Figueroa, your motion would be that they would not have to come back to the planning commission as long as it's below the 72. Is that
Right.
correct?
And then we got a second, right?
And then, yeah, alternate Commissioner Gutierrez second.
Could we get a roll call? Again?
Yes, Commissioner Gonzalez,
Aye.
Commissioner Figueroa,
Aye.
alternate Commissioner Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Leal,
Aye.
and Vice Chair Navarrete.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Congratulations.
So now that,
No, no, but we have to vote now
Sure.
on the original motion.
Oh, that was
Yes.
for the
Condition.
second motion? I
Yeah.
mean, for the motion to
Approve the
Stipulate.
amendment.
approve the amendment, right?
So
Okay,
just roll call.
Okay,
is that correct, Dave?
yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right, so roll call on the
Amended motion.
amended motion. Okay, Commissioner Gonzalez,
aye.
Commissioner Figueroa,
Aye.
alternate Commissioner Gutierrez,
Aye.
Commissioner Leal,
Aye.
Vice Chair Navarrete.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to our public hearing calendar item number 2, the McDonald's restaurant drive-through reconfiguration. It's in a continuous request.
Thank you, Commissioners. Gabriel Perez, your Development Service Director. A quick presentation since this is a requested continuance. So we do have an application for the McDonald's restaurant at the Fountainhead Plaza, and they did apply for a conditional use permit and amendment to their original architectural review. Just this is the location on Cesar Chavez Street in the existing McDonald's. Originally, there was well, this condition came to our attention months ago.
Yeah.
And it's not the ideal condition, because as you can see here, this is not the configuration that you see out there if you're gonna drive up to McDonald's tonight.
Yeah.
But this was a few months ago, and you could see the drive-through queuing was spilling out of the actual drive-through lanes. And this was presented as an issue, so we did talk to the applicant. They reconfigured this a little bit, but it's a very temporary fix. This was the original McDonald's configuration where it actually looped around the whole building, but the applicant modified it to allow for outdoor seating. And so they modified it to this configuration, which was approved by the Planning Commission in 2015. but this has caused some problems. So they are requesting to reconfigure this, and we'll show you that next time. But the applicant is addressing some comments from staff before it can be brought back to the Plan Commission. So staff is requesting that this item come back to the Plan Commission on November the 16th of this month. That's in my staff report, so staff does recommend you continue it to the meeting of November 16th, 2022.
Is this the same owner as the one on 48?
I believe so. That's what
So
I
the,
heard.
because the one on 48 has the U shape,
Oh,
but it also has a, that's a whole another question, but yes, that's why it looks familiar. Okay. I'll have, a motion to, what is it?
It's
Does
a-
that recommend, motion to extend, to continue item until, which is the,
Gracias.
resolution number PC 2022-26 for approval. I'm confused on what I'm reading now.
Conditional use permit CUP number.
Condition using and amended to architectural review number 15-12 at the McDonald's Indian establishment at 1555 50090 Cesar Chavez Street until the next regular planning commission meeting on November 16, 2022.
I'll second Commissioner Figueroa's motion.
Okay, roll call. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Figueroa.
Aye.
Commissioner, alternate Commissioner Gutierrez.
Yes, I.
Commissioner Leal.
Aye.
Vice Chair Navarrete.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
And then, I'm sorry, Abe, I have a question. We skipped over our public comments. Would this be an appropriate time to go ahead and go over them, just in case if someone's in Zoom? Because we don't have anyone here on our end.
That's actually
Yeah.
right.
Yes, sorry, didn't realize that. Yes, I think to be safe, let's open public comment right now.
Perfect.
There's nobody here.
All right, at this time at 6:38 PM, I'm going to go ahead and open up public comments for non-agenda items. The public may address the commission on any item of interest to the public that is not on the agenda, but is within the subject matter jurisdiction thereof. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. No one on? Okay, I think it would be appropriate also to close our public comments now at 6:38 PM due to the fact that we have no one in attendance or on Zoom. All right, moving along, we're gonna go ahead with our informational.
Commissioners, I just have a few items I want to report for development updates. We are pretty busy, right? So you might hear a lot about a slowdown. So far, we're not experiencing that. Maybe just slightly, but we are pretty busy. There was a specific plan that was originally submitted about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's a large master plan community at the northeast end of the city. It's a 2,800 acre mixed use specific plan, which would include 9,530 residential units on 1,000 acres, 27 acres of entertainment district zoning, 250 acres of mixed use commercial, office and wellness uses, 70 acres of education uses, and about 1,170 acres of open space and parks. So this is kind of in the elevated portion of the city once you start going into the hillsides off the 10 freeway. So it's north of the 10 freeway. So just want to let you know about that. It's going to take some time to process that development, and by the time it gets to the Plan Commission, it'll be months away. So just want to let you know that's in. It will require an environmental impact report, so we are working on a scoping meeting for that, and that likely will happen here in this room this month. And so that's the opportunity for the public, if they want to provide comment about things that should be evaluated in that environmental impact report, that will be the opportunity to do that. We're looking at November 17th, but if you're interested in more information on that, let me know. We'll share the information. Let's see, the Tripoli mixed use project that goes to the city council next week. And so the recommendations the Plan Commission made will be presented then. The other thing I wanted to mention is we are reviewing proposals for architects that submitted under our RFP for pre-approved accessory dwelling unit plans. And so there might be people in the city that are interested in building an accessory dwelling unit on their property, but a lot of times the design work can be expensive. And so what the city is doing, we received a grant for this, is to have an architect develop some concepts that could be used. And so they would provide the CAD files and ownership to the city. Anyone for the public would be able to use those plans so that the cost of the design work is limited, right? They can use that to submit to the city, and they're already pre-approved by the city. So just want to let you know about that. And then the other thing is, I mentioned this, that we had a reconsideration hearing before the local agency information commission last week in Riverside. And so LAFCO, we had a request for this area, that's county area between Jackson Street in Calhoun, and then to the south, Avenue 52, and then to the north, just south of Avenue 50. And so we were unsuccessful with that attempt to include that in our sphere of influence, which means that area could be annexed in the future if the property owners were interested in doing that. But the LAFCO board did mention, some of them mentioned that they see that being in Coachella, so they would want to see if land uses identified in the general plan for that area. So, you know, we're gonna kind of take that back as staff and see if it would be worthwhile to do that. So more to come on that, but just want to give you an update there. We did get a 112 single family lot subdivision that was just submitted this week for 19 acres on Van Buren Street, just south of the Coral Mountain Academy. And so that would be a new subdivision coming in. The Aldi supermarket, a lot of you have seen that project under construction, so they're moving pretty quickly on that. The Firehouse Grill, so the old fire station, it looks like they're going to be opening that as a soft opening this weekend. So just want to let you know that they've finished their fire and their county public health inspection. And that's it.
So the ADU units that are being, the plans, is that just, is that a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and also 3-bedroom, or just?
They're
one-
going to produce 6 plans. And
What-
so it's going to have
what-
1-bedroom option, 2-bedroom, and a 3-bedroom. Because under state law, you could technically go up to 1,200 square feet.
Yeah, I know North County, San Diego, they have a plan that they provide for the public, and they don't charge them. You go and pick up the plan, you can use either one bedroom, 2 bedrooms, or 3 bedroom. Also on the one,
That's the idea. We actually like what San Diego, the county of San Diego did. It's just really easy to use.
this project is being proposed with the master plan, is that east of the All-American Canal?
It is.
So it's next to the La Entrada project.
So
Okay, thank you.
it's, can I point it on the map?
Yeah, like large squarish area from the northeast end. So it's
Interstate 10 to that corner, right up there.
no, up further north, all the way to the right.
Right here.
Yeah, so north of the 10 freeway.
Okay, now that's a bigger spot.
Yeah, the bigger spot. Correct. Big area.
Yeah. Like visually see it. I mean, I guess you could have pointed at your own pointer, but I want to.
That's,
No, it's not.
that's obviously in city jurisdiction, so we don't have to annex that into the,
No, that's already in the city.
okay.
On the LAFCO meeting, you mentioned you're taking it back to staff to see if it's viable to move forward with it.
And yeah, the reason why, because we'd have to see if that's something that would be worthwhile for us to do, right? Because it would take another effort, right? We thought they would conclude with this meeting. So we would have to look at the potential for developing general plan land uses in the area that we currently don't have. It's in the planning area for the city, but in terms of being like the color on the map, we don't have that yet. And so there's a cost to that too. So we'd have to take something back to city council and see if they're interested in doing that.
I was there at the meeting. And they practically said, except for the staff. I saw them taking an anti-position. I don't know why. But from the commission members, I went away with the feeling that if we had a land use plan for that area, they would have supported the appeal. And I understood them saying indirectly that get that plan use together, come back. Okay, we've got till the 1st of December. Okay, and whoever submits a plan use for that area, the Coachella or Indio, first, that's what's going to go before the commission. I really believe that this meeting was going to be to begin the process of amending the general plan, okay, to propose a land use for that area.
Is that reasonable? We could do a land use by December 1st?
I think so. And I think that's why we mentioned we needed to kind of get back together with staff and then city attorney to see how long that would take.
And if we need a special meeting, I would recommend we do one, just to make sure that we meet the timeline. And I think that's very important. It's a future of our city. So I think that's very appropriate that we do what we can to make sure that we meet the deadline and we have the land use all put together.
Yeah, and there was a lot of outreach that we did in the area for property owners, and we had a lot of property owner letters of support for it. So, the other thing that we would need to do is continue to do more of that outreach. There were some property owners that did provide the letters or still wanted more time. So it'll give us more time to be able to communicate with them.
I think it's important, for the leadership of the city to go out and advocate, but I think one of the other things that I don't know would be appropriate to actually get consultants to go out and, touch bases with some of the landowners and try to, basically try to bring them onto our side, and they support the idea of them annexing of the city of Coachella.
Yeah, most of those properties are addressed to Coachella, to the Coachella zip code.
Yeah. Well, I think it, okay,
The other property on Van Buren, that's gonna be new homes. Those are single family homes. That's it, Brian, you have, it's that corner between Avenue 52, Van Buren, across from the farms, right?
Oh,
It's that property, right? That's,
Bellissima. Yes, so Bellissima, Pulte developing that development.
no, the one you just talked about, Van Buren, the new one that.
Next to Coral Mountain.
Next to Coral Mountain,
Oh.
it's that lot, right?
Yes,
Where the sand builds up.
yes.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah. So you'll be seeing that at some point, but they just submitted an application for the subdivision.
All right, so at 6:49 PM, I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you, guys. Thank you, staff.
Hey, thank you,
You
everybody.
guys did a great job. Thank you.